So in my last video, I just got cut off there. So we just want to relook over this program. We can see how our roll totals are going to work. We're going to keep rolling until we hit a 2. We generate those numbers 1 through 6. We then print it all to the screen. So now that I'm ready to test it out, let's put our main call down here. So calls the main to run. We're going to do main. And then from here, if we run it, there we go. We can see the values each time it rolled, and on the 19th time we rolled a snake eye. And if you're not sure, even count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19th roll was a 2, and it'll be different every single time because it might take longer or shorter to roll a snake eyes. See, that one took quite a bit longer. Okay, so there's our first program. Notice how we mix together a while loop with our rolling of dice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a new file, and we're actually going to do a second program that mixes some of these concepts together. So what this second program is going to do, so this is where you can have a new Python program and do file, save as, unit 6, lesson 5b, and this one is going to be even or odd. Save it. So we have unit 6, lesson 5b, even or odd. And essentially this is going to take in a number and determine, using a function, whether a number is even or odd. So I want to show you another kind of cool way that we can mix these all together. So we're going to start off with definition main. And then we can see over here, we can start brainstorming, but the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take in a number. So here we want to get a number from the user. So we ask them to please enter in a value. So do an input. We want to do eval as well around that since we want it to be a numerical value. So we'll say, please enter in a number. And then we'll save that. You can call it whatever you'd like. I'm just going to call it num entered. They've entered in a number. That's the first piece. So we want to, and my comment needs to go in there as well, gets a number from a user. Then from here, we want to state whether the number is even or odd using a function. So this is where I'm going to use a function down here to determine whether it's even or odd and show you kind of a cool little addition we can add to our functions. So here we have a function, and we're going to do definition even or odd. Inside of here is where we're going to actually determine whether or not this number is even or odd. Now, in order to determine if a number is even or odd, we need to take in a parameter. So we're going to take in a parameter of a number. So whenever this function is called, which is going to be up here, we're going to do even or odd, and we need to send in an actual value. And the value we want to send in this case is num entered. So we're going to do num entered. And down here, even or odd is going to get some sort of number. So I'm going to call it number down here. But there's an exchange of a value. Whatever function calls the even or odd function, it must send in a numbered value. So this sends in a number value to determine if even or odd. That's what we're doing right there. So then from here, once we have this number in here, we need to then determine if it's even or odd. And hopefully you're automatically thinking of that modulus operator that allows us to tell if something is evenly divisible. Because if something is divisible by 2, it's even, and if it's not, it's odd. So I'm going to use that modulus operator to my advantage and do if number modulus 2. So this is saying number remainder 2, and if that remainder is 0, so a number, when you divide it by 2, if there's a 0 remainder, it's even. So if this happens, what we're going to do is we're going to return even to the program. So notice here, I'm not even returning a variable, I'm just returning a string value. And I'm going to return to the function, well, it's even. So notice here I'm doing number modulus 2. If number, when it's divided by 2, has a remainder of 0, it's even. Otherwise, if it's an else, we're going to return odd. That's a pretty simple little addition. You can return two different values depending on the results of your function. So that's kind of a neat little thing, is if it's even, if even, which means it's divisible by 2, it will return even. If odd, it returns odd. So notice how I can return two different things. So this will return even or odd depending on the results of the conditional if statement. Now, knowing that this returns a value, I know that I need to save that value in here. So I'm going to call this, I can just do even odd. We don't know what the value is. So here, we're going to have a second variable in our program, and it's going to save the results of even or odd. So notice here we get a number, we send it into the even or odd function, then it goes down here, it determines if it's even or odd, and then it returns that to the actual function. So now what we can do from here is we can print out to the screen our results. We can say your number is, then you can enter in the value of an odd. So this will print it to the screen. Here we go, prints results to the screen. So the last thing we need to do is we need to test it out. We want to call our main program to run. There we go. Then we can test it. So enter in a number. All right, it's getting a little angry. Even or odd is not defined. So let's look. See, my names aren't matched. So let's fix that quick. And then our program will run. There we go. Run it one more time. There we go. Our number is odd. Run it again with an even. Our number is even. So you can see that depending on the number I enter, it's returning two different values. And you can even see here, you don't have to return a variable value. You can simply return a value back to that program to be saved.